What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN USD. It is the 8th day of February, and here we are sitting at about $0.00546, roughly 7.5 hours left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about the price action here. Ideally, from this bullish engulfing candle, what we wanted to see was some continuation. It's not ideal that we've been held up here for the past couple of days, but it is the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, nonetheless. You know, it makes sense that we might be a little bit stagnant. There might be a little bit less interest in trading. And I mean, you can see over the past 2 days, we've had low volume before, but this is some pretty low volume, even in these low volume times. So let's look at the short-term stuff. Let's see what's going on, if there's anything to divulge on the short term. If not, we'll just look at some long-term stuff and go from there. But the 1 hour time frame, we'll start there. We've been moving sideways. We do have some gaps. And again, these 1 hour gaps aren't the sole thing that you should base your analysis off of, but we do have a way of filling these gaps. We really do. And we also have a gap down here, technically. So it is completely possible and acceptable to go to either of these prices and even below them. That doesn't mean that we go below this low, but that doesn't mean that this is the low. There is a possibility where we see a lower low, and then perhaps from there we recover. Looking at this, what was I just going to do? I want to do the fib, sorry. From a low to a high, low to high, we've hit the 0.5, come back up to the 236. This is actually pretty typical. I'm going to delete these white lines because I don't think we need all that noise. It's actually pretty typical to do this exact maneuver when working your way down to the golden ratio. Doesn't mean we have to, but typically if you consistently find resistance at this 236, that's not a good sign. You want to get above it, or you want to hold it as support. Once we get back below the 382 at 0.0538, I would assume then that we do move down to the golden ratio. I just want to see real quick. Let's see. How much of a percentage drop is that? It's about 7% to, let's say, 9% of a drop. Maybe more. We could drop more. And again, of course, if we dropped all the way down to the 886, we would fill both this gap and this gap here. A fill of this gap would definitely happen at the golden ratio, but this one would be left unattended to. So OnyxCoin has liked to go to its 786, 886 area a lot. I feel like I've come to find lately. Maybe not even like lately, but this past like quarter of a year. Let's just see. Let's see if I can find an example of this here. I mean, just from a relative high here to a low there. You went just below your 786. You reached through your golden ratio. That's kind of the main point, though. Was that drawn from the right place? Maybe I should have done... Maybe I should do another one. Let's do low to high. Here, golden ratio, but you found direct support twice at your 786. Came back up, and you did break through it, but found resistance at your 886, showing some significance there. If we go on a daily time frame, we look back here, from a low to a high, 786, 886. You actually went a little bit below the 886, but still something in this zone. Is this right? Oh, I'm not on log. There we go. I was like, I thought we were on the 886. Oh, wow. So my fibs might be off if that's the case. We'll fix that. Don't worry about it. We'll fix it. 786, 886 respect there. Still, though, even in a linear fib, the rule should still apply more or less. But let's look at this on the 1 hour time frame again. I didn't know that we weren't in log. Wow. It probably, in linear, it doesn't make that big of a difference on the short-term stuff. It's more the long-term stuff. But yeah, see, it's the same thing. Instead of finding direct support at the 0.5, we found support at the 382. Still very common from this area to go down to the golden ratio. The numbers have changed a little bit, but 0051 to 00492, it's basically the same thing. And that gap is still down there too. And that's right at the 786. It's right there. It's right at the 786. It's a possibility. It's something we should definitely consider. 1 hour time frame, looking at the indicators here, the RSI is neutral. And by the way, if anybody's looking at this, they're like, oh, so you were doing the fib analysis at first in the log scale. If you got your Fibonacci pulled up here, your fibs are based on log or not. I have mine based on log. You can do it both ways. It's not like if I didn't have the logarithmic calculations in here, I would use linear and it's fine. Some people say log is better. Some people say linear is better. Let it be known that it really doesn't matter, right? Like maybe one is better than the other, but there's no way to certifiably prove that, right? Like there's plenty of people who are successful traders with linear scales and log scales. There's plenty of people who make a mess of things with linear scales and log scales, right? If it works for you, that's all that matters. That's all that matters, man. So if you're doing your own analysis and you don't have it in log, but you normally do it in linear, that's fine. Don't worry about that. Don't adjust. Do what makes sense to you. Anyways, or adjust if it makes more sense to adjust, whatever. But anyways, getting into this, the 1 hour RSI is too neutral really to care. I do like that we've kind of broken out of this downtrend here, that we were kind of in an uptrend almost, but it's too neutral. We've been moving sideways and choppy, so even though that we're kind of getting a bullish posturing here, I'm not going to get excited about that, especially with the idea that we're finding resistance here at this area. We're probably going to go down to the golden ratio and fill that gap at the very least. Stochastics are bearish, and the MACD technically would be bearish here as well. 4 hour time frame, again, kind of very neutral, choppy sideways. Your RSI is neutral. I mean, you've got this somewhat of an uptrend here, but again, I'm not too excited about it. I'm not thrilled. We're just moving sideways. Who cares? If anything, it's bad, right? Getting lower highs with higher highs than the RSI, it's hidden bearish divergence. It's not a good thing. Stochastics would suggest that we come down. MACD would suggest that we come down. And again, if we're expecting to come down, a couple of thoughts go through my mind. One, we could take this low to high and see that, okay, we did find direct support at the 886, came back up to the golden ratio, rejected, and we went down to the golden ratio of the 1618 to find support, ultimately down to the 2272. Wow, 2272 for support, 1272 for resistance. Gotta love the serendipity there. I do like that we're holding support at the golden ratio for now, though. Let's see. But just keeping that in mind, from a low to a high here, if we were to do something similar, like go down to this area, and then we find resistance at the golden ratio, we would likely then expect to come down to something in this area, okay? At this point, I'm not expecting this. I'm just saying if we go down to like something as low as 00467, for example, or 0046 itself, something in that area, or 0048, something in that zone, and then we came back up to 005 and found resistance and then rejected back down to this area, the statistical probability that we go to 00385 or 00324 is very high, which from the current price, it's quite a ways away. So let's avoid doing that. It's okay if we come down and we do part of it. It's okay if we come down. We don't want to find resistance at the golden ratio. If we ever get below the golden ratio, we need to get back above it, and we need to find support on it. It would be best if we just stayed above it, but something tells me we're probably going to go to the 786, 886. So prepare for that. My expectation is we'll prevail, we'll move up higher, and then likely continue on this path to anywhere between like 1 to 2.4 cents. 4 hour stochastics make me a little bit bearish, but you've been moving down and you haven't really done too much, so I'm hopeful that we don't get a lower low here. Daily time frame, bouncing off the oversold zone. MACD, bullish divergence on there. It's very robust, very beautiful. Same thing with the stochastics, looking good here. Again, any kind of downside that we're seeing, it's probably going to be very minimal and on the short-term stuff. It is Sunday. We've got 7 hours, 27 minutes left in this day and this week. Next week, opening up the week to the downside to start the week is not a problem. I think that Monday or Tuesday or both days, if we were to retrace a little bit to start the week but then move up by the end of the week, that actually makes for a very nice weekly closing candle. Right? Like if you're looking at this week here, same kind of idea. We started off the week to the downside, but then we moved up for the rest of the week. That's a nice weekly closing candle right there, especially with the higher low, especially bouncing right off of your weekly low close here. Right? We started this week off to the upside and then finished coming down. That made for a very nice bearish candle. It doesn't mean that we have to move down in order for the week to be good, but it wouldn't be crazy at all to see that, and it would make the week look good all in all, genuinely. When we do move up, whenever we do break out of this trend, I would say, right here, let's try and get it as tight as we can. Something like that. When we get above this high, really, at like 0059, we get above that high, we're breaking out of this downtrend, and we should see some sparks fly. If volume comes in, if it does take us above this high, that's great. If not, there is a solid chance where from a high to a low here that we find resistance at 0087 or 0115, somewhere in this area. We could break out of this zone, still find resistance somewhere up here, get an overall lower high, and still come back down. So there's work to do. Breaking out of this itself is exciting, but it's not enough. Ultimately, we have to get above 01153. Get a daily close above like 1 cent. That would be nice to see. and we start doing stuff like that, and we can really start to assume that we are going to 1.7 to 2.5 cents. That would be the ultimate destination, probably by the end of Q1, assuming everything goes good. And again, looking at the daily MACD, the stochastics, the RSI, I've got reason to believe that things are shifting right now into the upside. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves, all right? Bye-bye.